Alright, hello. Welcome back to another video with your host, Rising Oblivion. Today, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about Persona 5X or Persona 5 The Phantom X. We just recently got some news that the game is coming to Steam, and wanted to talk a little bit about this because I know one of my highest videos, or the videos that keep still getting views, is about this game. And I think some people have a little bit of a misconception when it comes to like what kind of game this is. So I want to talk a little bit about this, but yes, it has been announced that it has plans to come to Steam. If you didn't know, this is a Chinese only sort of mobile game that is only in China, right? So the languages are only in Chinese. There's no other way to really play this game unless you get like a VPN or something like that and set your region to be China and then play it that way. I believe it's also had some other releases like in Korea, so we do know that's a thing, and there are supposed plans for Europe and also the States. Now, here's the thing about this game that I think a lot of people just kind of don't realize. This is a formal sort of gacha game. This isn't exactly, I think, what people think it is. I suppose that a lot of people kind of see this and they go, oh, it's like a continuation of Persona 5. Persona 5 Part 2, which in reality, I don't really think this is kind of that. You know, it is a gacha game first and foremost. There is a energy system where you're only able to play it so much per day. And the fact that, you know, you have to constantly do that, this isn't the kind of game where it's going to be like the original Persona 5. Now, I know a lot of people out there also are like, yeah, like, of course, we know that, but it's a little bit interesting. I work for a lot of Chinese gaming brands like Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, Infinity Nikki, and whatnot. Some of these games have their gacha systems in place. Some are, you know, a little more forward about it. Some aren't as much. Like, we've gone through that kind of era when it comes to, like, North American games. Even Europe, I think, banned Overwatch or something like that for its whole, you know, system when it comes to loot boxes. And we've seen this sort of transition happen throughout games, right? You have like gacha systems, you have loot boxes and whatnot, and now we're kind of landing on battle passes, right? You pay like 10-15 bucks and like you're good for the next like month or two or whatever. Some it's like 3 months or whatever. I think like Call of Duty and Siege, it's like 3 months, but still, this is a gacha game first and foremost. When you play this game, you're supposed to put money in to get new characters, get new skins for characters. That's sort of how it plays. You have to pay to get energy to keep playing the game more and more. So I think a lot of people have a bit of a misconception when it comes to this game, and I think that's why I really haven't reported on it. In my last video, I talked about how there wasn't a lot going on when it came to like Shin Megami Tensei or like Persona games or whatever. But this thing has had updates. I think it's on its 4th update or whatever, and they're announcing some stuff with this game coming to Japan finally. But I just don't care because I know what kind of game this is, guys. This is not exactly what we think it is. But still, it's soon to be coming out. So Persona 5, The Phantom... By the way, this is on Persona Central. I'm just not trying to quick grab everything from them. So, as we can see here, Persona 5 The Phantom X is developed on mobile platforms and PC by Perfect World. That is the kind of Chinese studio licensed by Sega and Atlus. Whenever you make a game in China, you have to do this. And this is kind of part of what I've kind of done for my work. I'm a social media manager. I know a bit about this. You cannot just have your own sort of studio there in China. You kind of have to do it through a company that's already established in China. That's why it's licensed by Sega and Atlus. They're not doing it themselves. Perfect World is making the game, and it's licensed by Sega and Atlus. Sega and Atlus do not have full control, do not have the full reins when it comes to this game. Now, there is nothing wrong with gacha games. If you like playing them, cool, that is fine. Like I said, I do a lot of work. I absolutely respect them. But I think a lot of people kind of have a bit of a misconception of what this game is, especially like sort of Western fans. They don't, I think, know exactly what this is. Especially if you've never played a gacha game before, it's completely understandable. But like I said, let's continue on here. So the Japanese version will be published by Sega with the release date to be announced by in May. So we are getting more updates on this very, very soon. So stay subscribed. and I click the bell to be notified when more stuff comes out. Perfect World Games has also previously stated that they have plans for a European and North American release. However, details have been yet to be confirmed on that. I think that's what everybody is expecting. So this game has came out in most other Asian countries where you kind of have some strict rules when it comes to just releasing your games. Look up the past stuff when it has come to base Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal releasing in Korea. It's not as straightforward as you'd think. Even like stuff like Ryuji's shoes having to be changed because it had the Rising Sun logo on it. There's a ton of different changes like that. I recommend looking that stuff up. There's plenty of people who have made big videos about that if you're curious to kind of like see what that's like. But it's not so straightforward. And now that is in the hands of this Chinese developer, they're more than likely just going to focus on the Chinese versions of the game. That's why it has been over a year, and just now we're getting a Japanese version of the game, which is kind of crazy. But the Japanese version is to be published by Sega, so not so much control there when it comes to the Japanese version. However, the European and North American release is going to be by Perfect World Games. I do plan on having that be sort of their version to do, and I honestly love to do work for this. It's the kind of stuff that I do. I would love to help like pitch this game and do more for this developer. Again, I'm not trying to bash, gacha games and whatnot. I completely understand them. I just think there's a bit of a misconception when it comes to people who played the original Persona 5 or the Persona 5 Royal. When it comes to playing this game, it is not exactly what you think it is. It's going to be a little bit different. It's a mobile game first and foremost, and you have to kind of remember that. That's what it is. Either way, this game does look cool. I'm not trying to bash on it. There's been a couple new trailers that they have released recently. It looks cool. It looks fun. I think all the different skins are actually kind of cool too, and I think they have a collaboration going on with Persona 3 soon as well. We have some different art here. Persona 3 Reload collaboration. We've seen that, and there's some art and different things that they've been showing off recently. But yeah, it looks cool. It looks interesting. It's just, this is not going to be Persona 5 Part 2. It's just not going to be that. And I think it's what a lot of fans want, right? They're expecting more about that. But I think that's kind of all I really have to say here. I'm going to be having a breakdown of all of the different versions of the Raidu game coming out. I think they'll be coming out early next week. So please keep your eyes peeled for that. But that's going to be all for now, everybody. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. That would do me a whole lot here. I'm trying to hit 50K by the end of the year. I would love to see 50K, so please subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a member and click the bell to be notified whenever I have new updates coming out for new stuff just like this. But I'll keep you guys updated. That's all for now. Bye-bye.